horrorcore came about, but I never created that term. That term was created by Russell Simmons and groups like the Flatliners and other groups like that. I always did what is called acid rap, which is the wicked shit. And the time I was doing the wicked shit, it was not as popular as it is today, that spawned into this big genre or subgenre that is horrorcore and all these things that create dark imagery. You know, what I do is acid rap, but I don't do horrorcore because acid rap is more of it's a form of modern day blues. I'm talking about real issues and things that go on in the world and social ills and things that people don't want to talk about. So horrorcore would be something fictitious and something that people's making up and all these horror stories and blood and gore, which I'm a fan of the sci-fi myself, but I keep it real life, and that's what it is. The new album, I mean, dichotomy is what it is. You know, there's two sides to every story, and you need to know which side you're on when you're telling a story or listening to a story. So dichotomy would be life and death. Dichotomy would be, you know, black and white. Dichotomy would be all those things, but you know, you just gotta listen to it, and everybody gonna hear something different in what I'm doing, and that is what dichotomy is. Well, today it's much easier to record an album. Any monkey with two bananas and a drum can record an album. But back in the day, it was really an art form, and it was really hard to do. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't just, you know, you didn't have such easy access to things as recording equipment and ways to record. So it was next to impossible to record a record back in the day. And today it's, you know, anybody can do it. You know what I'm saying? So that's the difference, but it's still an art form, and people should just get into the arts and, you know, that type of thing. What happened, it was a special time. It was the times, it was the people. You know, people generally had the experience of going to a record store and actually buying a record and having that whole personal experience with an artist. As you know, I gotta get my money, then I gotta go to the store. Now it's all easy access, and what made it so special then was the music. There wasn't no music out there like that, you know. And for people like us coming from Detroit, with all the people like the MC5s and the Iggy Pops and the Alice Coopers, you know, we just kind of fit right in. You know, people didn't know that those were some of my favorite artists growing up, listening to the Meatloafs of the world, the Kisses of the world, you know what I'm saying? And I just appreciated the rock and roll aspect of what I was doing, and I incorporated it with the hip hop, and then we just put everything in there. We listened to East Coast, West Coast, down south, and we just mixed it all up, put it into what we was doing in the 90s. And that was, you know, our contribution to, you know, Detroit music, you know, up there with the Berry Gordy's and all that. It was just a special time, and that's what made it. And, you know, we were some of the first to just go out and, you know, show people that they can do it without radio and TV and all those type of things, you know what I'm saying? So that's what made it happen. I mean, I listen to all the classics, you know. I mean, any classic artist. I mean, I listen to Cyndi Lauper. You know what I'm saying? Time after time, that's the shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm listening to everything that's great. You know what I'm saying? I'm a student of the game once again. So anybody that was great at the time, I was enjoying their music too, just like anybody else, because I'm a fan of the music. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I study. And, you know, there's so many to name. You know what I mean? But I appreciate it then, and I appreciate it now. So all the people that's doing their thing now, I'm listening just like anybody else. You know, I'm just a fan of the music. So music in general, all kinds. Well, the decision behind remastering Booming Words from Hell was because we made that recording so long ago. It still stood the test of time even 25 years ago. But because of the way people were recording back then, it had to be remastered. Even though we did it on these things called reel-to-reels, REEL, that's why we call our shit Real Life, because we made Booming Words from Hell on a reel-to-reel machine. And it was like 20 years old with the sound quality and everything, and just the way technology is today. Come on in, brother. We were able to give people the album that they love, even in today's world. Being remastered, it stands up to everything that's out there. Like, you know, you could put my first album up against anybody's first album, their first album. I'm not talking about, you know, when they, you know what I'm saying, blew their first album, right? And that's where the creativity comes in, and that's where the difference comes in, and from us and any other artist. Like, when we came out the gate, it was the wicked shit, and not even that, it's hardcore music, heavy mental, you know, heavy metal, heavy in your motherfucking face shit, and that's just what made it happen. And remastering these things are about, because when we made these records, there was no such thing called Pro Tools or copy and paste. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This shit was an art to make these records blend and mix like this. It was cutting and scratching, and all the elements of hip hop, rock and roll, blues, jazz, all this shit was infused into our music. And that's what makes us who we are today. You know what I'm saying? I'm still a student of the game. You know, I was dealing with, at the time, I think I was on Psychopathic Records, and my situation over there wasn't the best like I wanted it, and I just was like, okay, it's just time for me to just, you know, continue to do what I'm doing, because, you know, frankly, nobody's gonna really, take care of your things like you would, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm at a loss for words here, but it was just time to redo my shit, you know what I'm saying? And just focus on what I was doing without any outside influence, or, you know, having people copy off my paper in class because they knew I would get an A on the test. I got tired of people cheating off me. You know, you can't stop copying off my paper, dude. You should have did your homework. Based on a true story, but not the story of real life or my story. You know, my brother just was kind of sick, and I had no way to deal with him, so I would tape him. You know what I mean? And this is how this thing came about, because, you know, I thought it was just a tragedy that, unfortunately, you know, he dealt with some things in his life, and he went in a situation where he got incarcerated, and, you know, just the system. You know what I mean? By the time he came back, he wasn't the same person that he was, and he was mentally ill. And sometimes, you know, I don't know if you got family members that deal with schizophrenia or anything like that, but it's a hard situation to deal with. And the only way I could deal with it was to tape him. And it actually helped him to see himself, you know what I'm saying, in some of those moments. And sometimes it helped him get out of that, but he comes and goes, you know. But it was based loosely on a true story. I'm just a student of the arts. I'm into the arts. You know what I'm saying? And culinary is just another form of art. You know what I'm saying? And I just got into it, and I just happened to get a degree because I was interested in it. You know what I'm saying? And I encourage people to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, do whatever you want to do. Like, you can do it. You know what I'm saying? And there's many other things I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get my helicopter's pilot's license, an astronaut. I'm gonna be a pilot, all type of shit. You feel what I'm saying now? But I just happened to do that. I did that. Love cooking. You know, you might see me out there with a food truck or something, or I might open up some KFC type of shit called Booming Wings from Hell, hotter than hell wings, whatever. You never know. Hot sauce, all that shit. But food is the shit. If you want to smoke the best weed, you want to drink the best drink, you also want to eat the best foods, and that's what I'm all about. I mean, TNT, I'm going to share something with you about TNT. TNT was a special person. He loved to live life. He took it as it came. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't mad at the game, despite what it looks like. You know, everybody know the story. Everybody looking in on the outside. Everybody like, oh, damn, well, why? Why? You know what I'm saying? But we all have these conversations. Me, TNT, Mastermind, and even before T passed, T was a happy, peaceful man. He lived his life to the fullest. He been everywhere. He appreciated life. He loved people. And, you know, that's just what it was. You know what I'm saying? He appreciated everything that came our way, and every opportunity we got to do, and everything we got to experience. And, man, he on to the next life. We don't know what it is. We got to catch up to TNT. You know what I'm saying? So we all will get there. So, you know, he just appreciated life and appreciated the fans and people who listen to our music for whatever it's worth. If you got something positive out of it, he loved that, and he loved that about his life. And he also was a family man. He's a father. You know what I mean? Like, he was a man out here to be respected. He was a man with integrity, and that's just what it was, you know?
Word after word after word. Word after word after word. I'm not an atheist. Oh, he let me grow up in the motherfucking ghetto.
Motor City Blogs, them my dogs. You might catch me in them creeping through the fog. But right now we gonna rock this show. We in Pontiac, and I gotta go. Peace.